Hey yo, what's up, my beloved hashtag champions fam? It's the bad guy WWE champion Zeke 4-0 back with a brand new video. Now I'm going to make this short, sweet, and brief because I got a lot to cover in a little span of time. So let's go ahead and get right into it. First and foremost, we have a brand new trial champion coming into the game very shortly, and it is none other than one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, The Game, the King of Kings, the cerebral assassin, the Connecticut blue blood himself. Some might call him Paul Levesque. I like to call him Triple H. 1, 2, this on? Yo, this is actually pretty dope because we're actually getting a little cool theme here with this second phase of Winter of Wonder. And I'm going to just say it right here and now. I'm going to shoot my shot. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. We just got X-Pac as a free-to-play Hall of Fame unit, right? Then we got Kevin Nash as a secondary chase unit. Now we're getting Hall of Fame powerhouse Triple H as a trial champion and this upcoming Showdown Scrimmage Weekend's chase champion Mega. I have a solid feeling, and if I'm wrong, cool. There's nothing wrong with being wrong. You learn from your mistakes, right? Because things are always subject to change. I would not be surprised if we end up getting a Hall of Fame Shawn Michaels after this. It's literally rolling out. We're getting the click. That is what I'm getting. I think this Hall of Fame MLC is about the click. Because you got Pac, you got Nash. Now we're getting Triple H. The only one missing now is Shawn Michaels. So that is actually going to be interesting. Now, obviously, I'm not on the trial unit version of Triple H. I'm on the actual card version of him. And look at his artwork. He's another guy where the artwork looks good. The artwork for these Hall of Fame characters has gotten better and better over time. Before, they looked like they were like Easter egg chocolate figures. Now they're starting to look more and more like statues. They're getting that aesthetic to it. So I can dig it. He looks good. He looks great. He is in the Hall of Fame. So I am proud to see that. And his moves look pretty good. He's got the figure 4 leg lock. Now, obviously, these aren't maxed out moves, but pretty much he's going to be able to place gems on the board to turn into X-Break gems. He's got the DDT, turning an area, choosing an area, not a random area, but choosing an area to make into green gems. He has the Facebreaker knee smash, allowing him to make Juggernaut gems, which will increase his red MP, as well as modify a random area into X-Break gems. He also has another choose area move with the pedigree to do a yellow gem area. Following that, he has pyro gems with a yellow move. That's going to be allowing him to choose an area to make it a pyro gems, which will make all gems into reinforced gems when broken. So that is actually fascinating there too. He also has the neck breaker, making reinforced gems into yellow gems, making it for him to cycle. The jumping high knee make X-break gems into green gems. And finally, we have the inverted Indian deathlock. Color submission. So he gets to choose move that makes into a color. So you're able to make gems into red to cycle that are going to deal damage. And then after that, the remaining gems turn into multiply gems. This guy is another hybrid of offense and defense. You can either run with it's honestly, when I think about it, reinforced gems give you a second win because depending on how you set them up and when you turn them, you can literally get a second breath, so you can basically do a big wild card and then hit again. Depending on how you have it set, you could do 1 gem match. That's a 5 wild card, and then you can do a 3 gem match, and you'll still be able to get an extra turn after that. So I could see that. I honestly think now too, while it's on my mind, I think characters that utilize reinforced gems, I think an extra turn gem strap, would help them out just because you get that second win when they break. Depending on how you set up your reinforced gems, you could get that second breather in and you'll be able to continue. So you could possibly do a little mini reload and do things over again with your moves, depending on the character. Now, we also have, after seeing what happened with Hall of Fame Savage, we got for acrobats now, I just answered my question, but this is for your opponents, reducing your opponent's submission turns by 10 turns. All right, so submissions can't be reduced below 1, so it'll get them down to 1. But you think about this too: if you got one of those skill plates on one of your characters, right? Like I was talking about Hall of Fame Brett with the smoke plate on him. I was able to get blessed with a legendary strap for him. Put the smoke plate on with the double armor setup with the medals. On that last turn, if he did get caught up into a situation where he only has 1 turn left, right? I just go ahead, swipe the blue, I load up the purple again. I'm good to go as soon as I get out to load up some more Juggernaut gems. So that is one of those things where I'm getting a feeling we're getting the opponent's side first, but then on the latter end of 2023, we're more than likely going to possibly see a couple of characters come out that are going to benefit us, the players, instead of utilizing it to help out going up against our opponent's submissions. So I am excited about that. Now, the one thing I will say is this. The Hall of Fame gear, the Hall of Fame link is always cool, but it would be nice to see, because if like when Shawn Michaels Hall of Fame comes out, I mean, I wouldn't see a problem with them with Hall of Fame characters having extra links. Like, I get it, the Hall of Fame link is busted enough, but mix and match. They're members of D-Generation X. Why not have Hall of Fame Shawn and Triple H have a D-Generation X link alongside X-Pac in China? Or at least if you put Hall of Fame Triple H with Humanoid China, you could use the D-Generation X link. Or if you put Hall of Fame Shawn alongside Road Dogg, you can use the DX Army link. You know what I mean? I think that would be a cool little thing that they could do, but if they don't, it is what it is. The gear utilization here, the first gear is going to be X-Break gems are going to be doing 50% more damage, and then, of course, the final one, it appears, is going to be enabling you to have your color submission do 100% more damage. Now, I'm not sure. I guess all color submission moves. So I'm guessing both of his submissions are going to allow him to do that. So the one that's to choose, no, he only has one. My correction. The death lock. The death lock's the only submission that he has. No, the figure 4 leg lock. Woo! Ric Flair. How could I forget? He's going to be able to use that to get 100% more damage on it. And we don't know how beefy it is. More than likely, check out my link down below in the portal, and you can see for yourself if they have his information already up there, if his intel's up, and you can know the full max strength of his submissions. But he has one that's going to be making X-Break gems, and then he has to choose red one too. So, honestly, that's going to be interesting too, because you could load it up. You could load it. So that's going to be fascinating right there for sure. That would be interesting. I am seeing that. You could do the choose red. You could do the choose red and hit the pedigree. That will load up your yellow again, so you could cycle that. So then you could also run both. You could run both submissions. You could, because you could run the figure 4 leg lock. You could run the inverted death lock. And you could choose to make the yellow, so then the yellow could the choose area, swap into yellow, get the death lock, use the death lock to load up the figure 4, and you could keep on doing that. And with General's Order, the one that's synonymous to go with Walter, I think that would definitely work out here. So that's just a little hint of advice. But we're going to get the trial one. Go ahead, get as many free shards of them for sure. Great guy. And I'm also curious, now that I mentioned Ric Flair, forgetting that in just that subtle moment, with the figure 4 leg lock, where is Hall of Fame Ric Flair? Because that is a thing. Hall of Fame Ric Flair should happen. Needs to happen. It's the man, the myth, the legend himself, okay? So that's definitely someone that needs to come down the pipeline for sure. I'm excited though. But I'm also going to address something too. When it comes to WWE champions, I am still appalled about how they went about the token situation with X-Pac's initial tour. But I'm also going to say this. Granted, with the Macho Man contest, I'm pretty confident, since we're based on Hall of Fame units, there are going to be weekend opportunities to collect more and more tokens for these champions. But I got a feeling they're going to be filtered out and distributed at a steady pace. So don't worry, but it's also a thing of be cautious too. Because with how these tokens are going to be released, they could easily be released through contest milestones in the future or store offers. So just be careful. Take your time. Don't feel the need or the pressure to spend. Just understand you're going to have to get them at your own time. The blessing in disguise that came with the new tokens coming out is that we were able to get hit with a smorgasbord of the old tokens. So you might not have been able to take up certain units of the original Hall of Fame to 6-star. Now you can take them up to 6-star. And again, I'm going to keep on reinforcing this. I'm going to be doing a Champions Guide video very soon. Very, very soon. I'm going to have to sit down and do it and make sure that it's small, compact, precise, and make it count. And by all means, the comments are going to be open for anyone, any vet player who wants to give advice to help new players come in. Then by all means, the comments are going to be open. If you got any gems of wisdom you would want to give to other people, put it down in the comments below that video. But I am going to do a guide for champions coming up soon. I'm going to try to make it like top 10 things to do in champions, just so people know what to do, and as soon as they get in the game, to help them out, like the characters they should pursue, the characters they should get first, how to go about the resources, obviously with the joining a faction and everything like that. I want to help players out, because I did go and went to scroll through the game store the other day looking at the top grossing games, and yeah, of course, Champions is nowhere in sight in the top grossing action games or puzzle games, but Champions does have like 10 plus million downloads. Now, obviously, when it comes to a lot of things nowadays, the stats can be boosted to make it look good. It is what it is, but there's potential there. It might not be 10 million players playing now easily, probably not, but there is the possibility of new players coming into the game every single day, and it would be a disservice for me not to try to help new players, whether pay to play or free to play, when it comes to this game. So I will be doing a video like that. I aim to have it out before the end of January. I will set that deadline for myself. That video will be out before the end of January, so you can roll out the rest of the year 2023 if you're a new player and have some tips on how to go about things and approach things in the game. So that's something to look forward to. But I will say again, with the Hall of Fame tokens, don't fret. You might be upset, like if you did buy the 4-star gold pack of X-Pac, but you didn't get the tokens for X-Pac because they were behind the 5-star wall for X-Pac, so on and so forth. Maybe you only had enough tokens and you went ahead to future-proof your game, your medallions this past weekend, and you purchased the Macho Man gear. I'd rather you buy the gear than worry about the tokens, because the tokens will be back sooner than the gear. And speaking of gear, that's a perfect segue. I don't know what Champions was thinking here. Now, if you're a spender, do you, boo-boo, honey child, okay? But they released these medallions. They're about to be gone very soon. And at first, when I looked at them, I'm like, okay, cool. Until you realize what's going on here. Now, first and foremost, these medallions, each one you can use, and you can buy certain superstars, Hall of Fame units, tokens. Their gear. You're able to use it. But for Ted DiBiase, right, because he was one of the featured superstars, you'd be spending $120 USD plus tax to go and buy both gears. So it even lets you, like, I guess this is their way of letting you know, hey, you might have spent $100 here, but I'm letting you know, if you don't have any of Ted's gear, all you're getting from here is the plus 75% yellow gem damage. You're going to have to buy that silver gear down here for $20 so you can get the all move damage 100% and the plus 75. You know, Jerry the King Lawler, a lot of us were able to get his silver gear and his gold gear for free, depending on how much you grind out a certain contest back in the day. So I don't see the point of getting that. I mean, unless you missed out on it, to each his own. And again, even now, Jerry the King Lawler is a top-notch free-to-play character. They have made solid free-to-play units for players. It's just the resource drought that goes against it. You can have these top-tier free-to-play husbandos and waifus and champions, but if you don't got all the necessary resources and the drops are so RNG, you could be sitting on certain evolutions and enhances for months, let alone, I'd hate to say it, even years, if you don't open up your pocket or the scope gods don't bless you with the proper RNG you need. So that's another reason why A lot of people don't get disheartened when you get the 5-star gold and you're waiting for your 6-star, because you can have all the tokens, you can have their moves maxed out, you can have their levels maxed out. But if you don't get the right token, you're not going anywhere. But it gives you time to build up more resources in the meantime, work on trainers and coaches, and just hold off until that opportunity drops. But they lost their minds though. You know what I mean? $100 just for the silver gear of Undertaker. I love Undertaker to death. Don't get it twisted. I love Undertaker to death. But here's another thing, and I want to drop this hit on people. That is just another bit of advice here, a tidbit. His first gear, it's all gems, gem +2. His second gear, blast gems do blast gem damage. If you use Undertaker, Hall of Fame Undertaker on tours, you could use his moment. And his moment, basically his Hell in a Cell moment with Mankind, gives you these benefits tenfold easily. Now, granted, it wouldn't count as a permanent bonus when you do feuds or when you do showdowns, but you'll be getting the same results in tours utilizing Hall of Fame Taker with this, alongside submission move damage doing more, regular move damage doing more, by just investing in the moment. And that costs you nothing. You know what I mean? So this is one of those times where you got to be smart. Now, if you're a mark for Undertaker and you got $500 laying around, yes, $500 laying around, so you could go ahead and buy both his silver and gold gear, keep the lights on. Do what you got to do. But there are other ways. You could save up on the portal. You could save up and invest on the portal long term and come across his gear and buy it that way. There's other chances, more than likely, that there will be another prize wall where you can get him, because they had his gear on the prize wall with Macho Man. So, depending on if you're a spender or not, that's ultimately the decision here. Obviously, there's certain ones that are going to be cheaper than others. Andre, as beast as he is with the drip plate, they're looking at it like this too. Not everyone has the drip plate, but go ahead and get his gear. Scott Hall, he's a great coach, generating green gems and green gem damage, but not everyone utilizes Scott Hall, so they figure it'll take less for him to use on that. Dusty, Hogan, like, look at this. You need to spend $500 completely to get Hogan's. So there's things you gotta look at, and then of course Stone Cold Steve Austin, both of his gears, it's gonna cost you $150. So I really was displeased with this, especially with them doing their sales. Like, they do these sales that are these pop-up sales that put pressure on the community to spend, and I shake my finger at that, because it's not cool. If you're going to have a roadmap, do a roadmap. Like, so many other mobile games have roadmaps to what's going on with their content, so people know when to spend, know when to hold back. Because guess what? By having that type of foresight, you're still going to invest money. You just know, hey, I'm not going to be spending like that on this weekend. But next weekend, you got my pockets open. You know, there's just certain things, but business is business. Everyone's business plan is different. So it does make me feel bad when I see offers like this, when I see deals like this. But inevitably, if the Whales invest, if the Dolphins want to invest, they want to take a try at it, kudos to them. You're keeping the lights on, business as usual. But I was very disheartened when I saw this, because I don't like that fight or flight situation that Champions feels the need to continue to constantly abuse when it comes to offers in the store. Before I head out of here too, like I said, trial champion, long story short, trial champion, Hall of Fame powerhouse Triple H. Looks like he's going to be very viable. You can go ahead and cycle him. You can use the Indian Deathlock choose move. You can swap the area of yellow so you can load up the choose move again. You can use both of his submission finishers. X-break gems galore, reinforced gems galore. He can make an area into green. He can make an area into yellow. He can make reinforced gems. He can also be able to make multiply gems down on the board. No pin bar, not moving, but he's straight monstrous. He's able to get a second win. He's getting the opportunity to load up, because you got to think how reinforced gems work. Reinforced gems used to be slept on, but now think about it. You make a wild card. It breaks once, you get MP. It breaks twice, you get MP. And I want y'all to think about this. If you have skill plates, right, that'll double dip. So for instance, if you break I believe how General's Order works, you break the yellow, you get the red, or either or, right? That means if I break the red with reinforced gems. It breaks once, my yellow MP goes up. It breaks twice, my yellow MP goes up. I break the and vice versa. I break the yellow, breaks once, red goes up. Breaks twice, red goes up. So that's another thing y'all need to consider too. If you're in pinning situations with those type of moves, utilizing a champion who does reinforced gems. I break it once, MP goes up. I break it twice, MP goes up again. It's a double dip to help load up your moves, especially if you're coming out of a submission. If it's a person who's using a submission choose move and they don't hit all your reinforced gems because the AI is going to be RNG sometimes too, that gives you a second win. It gives you a second birth. I also want to end this video real quick because we are running out of time. I'm already at 20 minutes, but I want to take this moment to say goodbye and thank you to an incredible man and content creator of the community who is moving forward with his life, and that is none other than the OG himself, Gearsan. Gearsan, man, thank you for everything you've done. The likes of you, Mark Rangley, Big Papa Brian, Davey D, Vengeful One, is Tuvman. Y'all guys were one of the key reasons I started doing videos myself. And I'm so happy for you. I'm proud of you. I got nothing but love and respect for you. Moving on, getting a job over at Scopely, helping them out with their customer service, because Lord knows they need it, man. Your positive energy is going to transcend throughout that company. And I'm just so grateful for you. And I know that this entire community is grateful for you, man. So I just want to say, I said it in the comments below, but you know what I always say. Hard work pays off. Dreams come true. Bad times don't last, but champions do. And you are forever a champion. I'm praying for you and the missus, your daughter. I'm happy for you, man. I never really talked to you outside of anything, off screen like that on Discord or anything like that. But your streams when they were on YouTube, to you just giving knowledge and your energy throughout the Discord when I saw you interacting with others and just being that positive vibe. Being positive. I still remember those pull videos, that good old chair, falling out the chair and everything, so hype and excited. I love those moments. I love those memories, and I'm grateful for you, man. So I wish you nothing but the best moving forward. You will be missed, but you will never be forgotten. And the videos that you have, I hope they allow you to keep those up, but grateful. Truly grateful for your presence in this community. You played a huge role in getting people into this game. You played a huge role of having people live through you with your polls. And just the way you interacted with your own personal community, with the leagues and everything, man. I love you, man. I really do. And to finish things off, too, I also want to speak on this as well. Pretty much, I know a lot of people have been reading what's been going on with WWE. We got the whole thing of Vince McMahon. He was gone because of certain allegations, paying people off because of female employees that keep silent. If you didn't know, now you know. He stepped down. Then, Stephanie McMahon stepped up. Triple H came back. Chief Creative Officer, CEO of Triple H, living out the authority version for good. And, things are looking great in WWE. People that were fired, let go by Vince, were brought back in for another opportunity. But if you haven't been keeping tabs on it, Vince McMahon is officially back in WWE. Vince McMahon is officially running WWE again. And unfortunately, the other day I did find out Stephanie McMahon did step down and resign from her place, her role within the company. And for those of you who feel disheartened, I can't blame you, because it's been day and night between Triple H running WWE, helping out, and Vince McMahon. Now, I'm not saying that Triple H has been the be-all, end-all since coming in. There have been some botches and some fumbles, but he's learning. He, too, had a health scare. So him coming back, finding his pace, getting on a roll, so to speak, he was doing that. And I don't knock anyone who's scared. Now, I do want to say this. A lot of people were scared about Vince supposedly selling to Saudi Arabia. From a video I just saw from What Culture Wrestling, that is not the case. WWE has not been sold to Saudi Arabia yet. So, that's keyword yet. We don't know what's going on because basically WWE is a public company, and basically with more control, in order to have more control because of shareholders and everything with a public company, you got to basically appease everybody. Vince McMahon, from what I'm understanding, wants to sell the company so he can make it a private company again, so he can do what he wants, so he can do anything. Now, on one side, as a fan, you might think that's cool. Oh, snap, we're getting Attitude Era 2.0. We're going to be having some crazy matches and gimmicks. In hindsight, growing up, the Attitude Era was great, but there was also a lot of things that were very cringe and very not necessary of how things went down when it came to the treatment of certain male wrestlers, let alone, more importantly, female wrestlers as well. There were great moments. There were also horrendous moments. That's something that you also have to think about too. And with Vince McMahon being back in control, that means a lot of things might happen. We got Bray Wyatt back. What happens to him and Uncle Howdy now with Vince being there and knowing that Vince didn't understand Bray's creative? We got Austin Theory looking great as a heel now. But next thing you know, we're going to have him, kissing butt to Vince McMahon again, getting everything handed to him. So and Liv had her moment. Now, Charlotte's back. Cool. But maybe Vince ends up making Liv a champion again, and no one cares about Liv. There's a lot to consider here. And another key important thing to think about. All we know, from one moment they were saying Vince was trying to sell to JP Morgan. Next thing you know, we hear about the Prince of Saudi. I don't know. But here's another thing to consider. If he does sell to somebody else, what could happen to WWE champions? What could happen to Supercard? What could happen to Mayhem? What could happen to all the mobile games in WWE Champions? Because if it goes to somebody else and they feel like, yeah, you got these games, it's cool, but they're not making money, they'll shut them down. So that's something I want everyone to always understand. Whether it's the whole thing of people spending money, the whales spending money to keep the lights on, if it's not enough for someone else who runs WWE, or if it's not enough for Vince, or if it's not enough for Scopely themselves, the game can be shut down at any given time. Every mobile game has an expiration date, and everyone needs to respect and understand that. And that's a harsh truth that all of us have to deal with. As much as I love Dokkan Battle, One Piece Treasure Cruise, Goddess of Victory Nikkei, as much as I love these games, FGO Fate Grand Order, certain games are billion-dollar games. WWE Champions is a $1 million game ran by a $1 billion company. There's a difference. And that means it's going to be easier for this game to be put on the chopping block compared to a Dokkan Battle or a FGO or even a new Goddess of Nikkei. Because Nikkei has only been out for a couple months, but they're about to drop a patch the following day, tomorrow, that's going to change everything, fixing all the problems that have been in the game, making improvements so people can get SSRs, super secret rare champions and characters a lot easier, absolutely free. They're taking care of making better deals for the whales. They're taking care of content and situations for the free-to-play. They're looking out for everything, and they're fixing it automatically. There's going to be a 7-hour maintenance on the game to fix everything, to make it right and make it run smoother and better and fair for everyone. Champions isn't doing that. Scopely doesn't have time for that. But they got plenty of time to make money and take your money. So again, like my boy Lucario said, they take care of the rich. They might do a couple things here and there for the poor. But when it comes to the people who like to spend and everything in between, they don't really care. They don't really care even for the poor side, the free-to-play side at times. So this is one of those things that a lot of people need to move forward and think about moving forward when playing this game. I wouldn't be spending like that unless, again, spend crazy when it's a character that you love. But if you got top-tier champions already, you don't have to capture them all. We already know how they do their system. The characters will be back at one point in time. So just do what you feel is best, but also understand, walk on eggshells moving forward. Champions has been around for almost 6 years, 7 years. Champions been around for a while, but nothing is forever. And with everything that's going on the outside with the WWE, that could have just as much influence and consequences for what's going on in WWE Champions. So I'm going to get out of here. This video was supposed to be short, sweet, and brief, but I had to break down things. I wanted to talk and cover about a lot of things because it's been a while since I dropped another video, and it was on my heart to make this video. But long story short, once again, Triple H seems like a solid character. He's going to be able to cycle one way or the other. You're going to use him as a trial, get as many shards of him as you can, share the builds that you would like to see. Aside from that, the whole thing with the tokens, Hall of Fame, the new Hall of Fame tokens, they're going to come one way or the other, whether through a prize wall, whether through milestone rewards, whether through the store. They will be around some way, somehow. The medallion situation, that, fight or flight purchasing, I don't like when Champions does that. There's a better way to go about it. There's a better way. They could easily ran this for an entire week. People would have bit and nibbled the carrot one way or the other. Obviously, whales are going to whale. Dolphins are going to do what they do and make a splash. And of course, the free-to-plays are going to be feeling some type of way and be like, well, why didn't they make a way for us to at least get a couple of those medallions absolutely free? So I get that and I feel that. Will we get a Hall of Fame Shawn Michaels? Where is Hall of Fame Ric Flair when I thought about it? Thank you, Gear-san, for everything that you've done for this community. You are a pillar of this community. You will truly be missed, and I'm grateful for you. I'm definitely glad that I was able to come across your content, and I'm thankful that I was able to stop in and watch it. And, even with my short temporary time of working with the Scopely Content Creator Group, getting to interact with you in those moments there behind closed doors, and just being able to support you whenever I could, it's truly a blessing. It's truly amazing. You're a great guy, and I want nothing but the best for you. But also, aside from that, WWE, we got Vince back. He's trying to sell the company. He's trying to make it private again so he can have more control over creative and do whatever he wants. But does that mean that if Stephanie McMahon's gone, does that mean that Triple H is going to be forced out again and Vince is having the reins again? I'm not going to lie to you. If that is the case, and knowing how things are, learning more and more how Vince McMahon is, I hate to say it, I might end up falling back completely off of Champions because he's just too unpredictable. There's a reason why, even though Shane is gone for good now, there was a reason why before Shane came back, he kept his distance from his father. So we got to see how this all plays out, because I'm not just concerned about my well-being in future in Champions. I'm concerned about everyone else who's put money into the game. I'm concerned about everyone who's a true WWE Champions fan and is committed to this game and put their blood, sweat, and tears and time that they can't get back into this game. So we will see what happens. But for one more time for the road, I said it once, I'm going to say it one more time. Hey, yo. Hard work pays off. Dreams come true. Bad times don't last, but champions do. Do what you like with this video. Subscribe, like it. I'm not telling you don't have to do anything. Just getting an opportunity to see who's willing to give my content a chance and give me and hear me out and listen to me. That's a blessing within itself. It means that I'm reaching somebody, even if it's only one person. I love you all. I want nothing but the best for you all. Let me know your thoughts about Winter of Wonder. Let me know your thoughts about these Hall of Fame champions coming out, these deals, these offers. Let's even talk about this whole thing of WWE with Vince trying to sell it, coming back, and now trying to sell it. Let's talk. Let's chop it up. It's more, we're all wrestling fans here. We're all WWE champion players here. Let's discuss things in the comments below. Give me your honest opinion, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. But until next time, y'all, mad love and respect always. Peace!